The freedom to live, or in some cases, the freedom to die on our own terms. A controversial topic indeed. Welcome to Hear the Web. I'm Tom.
And I'm Lily. Today we explore a disturbing scenario involving a patient with motor neuron disease in Victoria, Australia, who was denied voluntary assisted dying. The unfortunate part? This happened in a Catholic-run palliative care hospital, even though euthanasia is legal in Victoria.
Bizarre, isn't it? You would assume that once a law is passed, accessibility would be a given, but this seems to be another beast altogether.
Exactly, Tom. This patient, Sally Asterisk, had her choice blatantly disregarded. Despite living in a place where voluntary assisted dying was legal, and despite being in unspeakable pain from her incurable disease, her calls and emails to the hospital fell on deaf ears.
That is heart-wrenching, to say the least. It introduces a major ethical conundrum. Should religious beliefs of an institution take precedence over patients' rights? This is not a question of legality anymore, but one of morality.
Agree, Tom. What's more, legal experts and doctors have called for uniform legislation to prevent such events where an individual's suffering is exacerbated due to institutional objections.
Considering that this story happened within the healthcare environment, it's downright frustrating. Depending on where someone lives, their primary healthcare, specifically their palliative care, might fall under a religious institution, one that has completely different policies when it comes to euthanasia.
And this issue turned into a ticking time bomb for Sally. Her condition continued to deteriorate, while these institutional roadblocks stripped her off of the process to a dignified death, eventually leaving her too frail to even travel to a health facility.
It's tragic that she had to go through additional suffering, and it seems like Sally isn't alone in this. With the legislation being uniform, quite a few patients might be struggling in silence, coping with situations they shouldn't have to.
Indeed. Thankfully, there was a ray of hope for Sally. Specialist doctor and voluntary assisted dying provider, Eleanor Asterisk, stepped up to help. Eleanor criticized this lack of system support, emphasizing that it's crucial for the hospitals to feel a responsibility to provide a full set of health services.
Eleanor's involvement here does bring to light one important aspect. Lifelines like these are far and few on account of the stigma and confusing legislation. A more streamlined approach could make the process more humane.
Ben White, a professor of end-of-life law, also says there's an urgent need to balance the power situation between the terminally ill patients and the institutions. When access to voluntary assisted dying becomes a struggle, when delay equates to slow, agonizing death, then that's infringing on basic human rights.
There's a dire need to rectify this imbalance. The question remains, though, how empowers the morally right, legally justified power of choice in these cases?
It's a humongous task. Having a variety of voices, informed perspectives, and most importantly, empathy, can lead to a conclusive healthcare landscape.
Absolutely, Lily. As we wrap up, our hearts go out to Sally and many others who have to endure such experiences. The conversation has started, hard questions are being raised, and it's high time for tangible action.
Yes, Tom. A compassionate approach on part of both institutional framework and legal jurisdiction is the need of the hour. Until next time, folks, keep championing choices.